Hello and welcome to the 20th episode of Simply Be Sustainable. You guys, I'm freaking out. This is basically the episode that we've all been waiting for, whether we knew it or not. This episode, we are talking recycling. Now, I have lived in Savannah for officially an entire year. A year ago today, I moved into this beautiful duplex apartment and I've never felt more at home. However, this leads me to my confession of the week. I am officially a garbage hoarder. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see behind me I have random things that I don't know like if they're recyclable or not. So I'm going to show you guys some other containers because it's hilarious on Instagram, which you can see at simp.ly.b, simp.ly.b. Yeah, so basically I decided I no more. I am going through all of this stuff and I'm going to find out the answers and I'm going to share it with y'all because that's what I do. I bring you guys on my sustainable journey. And so that's what we're doing. Okay. So we're going to get right into it. My simple confession, as I said, is I'm a garbage hoarder. Yes, it's true. And today we are going to stop the hoarding and we are going to recycle it, or like I'll give you ideas of what to do with it. So if you want to know how to recycle or you want to recycle better, recycle right, as they say, keep on listening. And if you know somebody that needs to know subtly that what they're doing is maybe not right, simply share this. And you can always follow me for more. So first, we always start out with some simple truths, some shocking numbers. Guys, every time I do this, I'm just friggin' blown away. America drinks 80 billion soda cans. I mean, what the hell? Y'all need to stop with sodas. A great tip for that. I got an soda stream upstream. What am I saying? A soda stream, and I absolutely love it. The only thing I will say is I feel like the bubbles are like a different size, if that makes any sense. But if you're one of those people that love soda, get yourself a soda stream for sure. The recycling rate of an aluminum can is about 63.6%. And did you know that recycling a single can of aluminum can power your TV for 3 hours, y'all? 3 hours. That's insane. Roughly 105,800 aluminum cans are recycled every minute in the United States. However, we Americans also throw away enough aluminum to rebuild the U.S. commercial air fleet every 3 months. Okay? So, while we're doing a decent job, please put your soda cans rinsed into the recycling. And yes, it's not that big of a deal to rinse the damn can, you guys. Just quickly rinse them all. It's not that hard. 28 billion glass bottles and jars go into the landfill each year. Glass is endlessly recyclable, though, and it generally suffers zero loss of quality or purity. Around 10 million tons of glass that are disposed by America gets recycled each year. Not bad. But around 5 million plastic bottles are thrown away in the US every hour, putting the figure around 35 billion plastic bottles thrown away annually, which, if you've listened before, I've said this before, 8 million metric tons of plastic are ending up in our oceans every year. Every year. Every year, 8 million metric tons. I mean, I have a hard time reading these things. I know I gloss over them, but it's just so crazy to me. So, why do I do this podcast? Why do I care about this so much? I do it because I care about the oceans and my future children that I may or may not ever get to have. I want them to have oceans and clean waters, and I care very much about the animals that are already there. Let's do a little better. If we all do a little better, it'll make a big difference. That's my motto. All right, so the first thing I just want to say, PSA, if you did not know this, I'm going to tell you 2 things about plastic bags. One is you cannot line your recycling with a plastic bag. Okay, they're loose items, clean items. They just go in the container. You don't need a bag. Okay, No bags. No bags. Or if you want to just like dump the bag into the like bin, you could do that if you feel more comfortable with that. I'm going to show you what I use. I got this at the Goodwill, but this is just I don't know what you call this, a bin, an aluminum bin. My recycling in here, just like that. See, I have cardboard, PBR, can, junk mail. All of this is very clearly recyclable. Okay, it doesn't stink. I rinsed out my cans. You know. All right. Plastic bags cannot be recyclable, like the kind that you go to the grocery store. Now, personally, I ain't used a plastic bag in I don't know how long because I keep a lovely bag with me all the time. I don't have one right here, but y'all know what a reusable bag is. And oh God, is somebody going to cut their grass? The first time I opened the window because the weather is so glorious outside and the dog is barking and people are cutting their grass. Jesus. All right. And so you can't put plastic bags in your recycling, but which I know is confusing because like they're plastic, but it's weird. Here's what you can do though, like Target or a lot of these grocery stores, you'll see in the front when you go to get your shopping cart or shopping buggy, whatever y'all call it, there is a place where you can drop off all these plastic bags. So if you are someone that is still using plastic bags, and I know what you're going to say, I use them for the garbage. Well, I do too, but I get them from other people that don't listen to me. And if I didn't have them, I would just use a paper bag. So that would be fine as well. Which is nice because they have the little thing that I can use to hang. Anyways, but plastic bags cannot be recycled. You put them at the grocery store, but hopefully you're using less of those anyways. So now let's get into what you can and cannot recycle. All right. So basically what I did here is I'm starting from the top with plastic. So you'll see on the bottom of a plastic thing, I'm going to grab this. Okay, so this is like from a microwavable vegetable dish or whatever. You know how it says like a recycling sign, the little 3 arrows that make a triangle and there's like a number in between? Okay, so if you are in Savannah and most places, but obviously like you have to check, but if it says number 1, you can recycle it here. Okay? Again, I'm speaking from Savannah, Georgia, but at least you'll know what these mean, right? So number 1 is PET. I will butcher this. Polyethylene terephthalate. Typically soft drink cans, mouthwash, water, beer bottles, peanut butter containers, salad vegetable oil containers. These are number 1 plastics and you can recycle these. All right. So this is going in the recycle bin. All right. Next number is number 2. Okay. And that's high density polyethylene, which is like milk jugs, juice bottles, bleach, detergent, household cleaner bottles, shampoo bottles, buttered and yogurt tubs, possibly toys, it says. I don't know anything about that. But it'll say number 2. All right. So I have a number 2. Hold on. Okay. So this is Fructis Curl Dry Cream. All right. So this, if you look at the bottom, the little thing says number 2. So this is recyclable. Once you rinse it out and whatnot, you know, you can recycle this. All right. So into the bin it goes. The next thing we have is 3 vinyl or PVC. It says window cleaner, detergent bottles, cooking oil bottles, or garbage cans. Well, so it's like a thicker plastic, it sounds like. I did not have any of those. I really try the 4 R's that I told you guys about before for reduce, reuse, recycle. The first one is refuse and then also repair. I don't really buy stuff a lot of times if it's made out of plastic, but that is another one that can be recycled, but I just don't have any examples for y'all. Number 4, low density polyethylene. Food storage containers, squeezable bottles, and also when in doubt, like throw it in the garbage instead of in the recycling because you don't want to contaminate the recycling, if that makes any sense. So that's why I hoard mine because I don't want to throw it out. Okay, next we have number 5, PP polypropylene. I am so sorry if I'm butchering this. Polypropylene. I think that's right. So that's going to be like yogurt containers, syrup bottles, ketchup bottles, caps. I hadn't even thought of that. The caps are different, which means you have to take the cap off. Jesus. Medicine bottles. Now, I do have examples of this one. Okay, so these are all 5. Okay, so this is yogurt bottle, number 5. Medicine bottles, number 5. food container, tofu. Number 5, and I have another example of number 1. These things are number 1. Always wondered about these things. Oh, let me tell you for the people that are listening. These are like strawberry, blueberry, fruit, like those plastic thin containers with the holes in them. Those are all number 1, which can be recycled. Sweet. Next, we have cartons. So juice, milk, soy, any kind of, paper carton can be recycled. So let me give you an example of that. Carton, my almond milk containers, cartons, not the lid. Well, the lid's recyclable too, but you can take the lid off. And then cans, which we already talked about, aluminum. So obviously we know what that is, but I'll show you that too. So cans right here, cans right there. All right. So those are all the basics. Now, there are some things that people don't oftentimes know about, which is really what started this whole episode. Things like maybe pizza boxes with grease on them. Now, some cities say that they don't take them, and you can, in which case, like, pull the grease out and recycle them, or I compost them. Single stream recycling basically means, like, that they can separate it, like, pretty simply, right? So if you can't separate it, then you can't recycle it. So, for example, when you go get a cup of coffee and it's lined with plastic, that you can't recycle that because it can't be separated from the plastic to the paper. So it's not recyclable. So now we're going to get into some of the things that are a little bit more confusing. Oh, this is number 1, so we can recycle that. I probably will find a use for that, so I'll probably keep that. Okay, so now we're getting into the hard part. So I'm going to come on over here. Hold on. Okay, so these things, I don't like what I'm going to tell you, but I have to tell you. So I found, if you have like a neighborhood place that does shipping, like not FedEx or UPS, like a neighborhood place, my guy will take these and reuse them and slap a new label over top of the label. Okay. So if you know about the Mailbox Cafe in Savannah, I'm coming for you. I'm coming and bringing you all these things. See this label right here on the bottom that says, have to pay attention whenever you see this recycling thing, because it'll tell you, yes, it says recycling, but it also says plastic bag store drop off. So you can take this to where they take plastic bags in the store drop off. But here's the thing. You have to take the label off. It says, remove paper label before recycling. Well, I'm basically here to be a truth buster, because watch when I try to take this label off. I mean, does that count? I don't know. So I'm going to sit here and spend 17 hours. Like, no. I mean, I'm obsessed, but I'm not that obsessed. So then I thought, well, maybe I'll just cut it off, right? I'll just quickly sit here and cut that, which is a little easier. If you're real dedicated, you could do that. Okay, so that's an option, and then you could do that. You get all the things off. It's like, why do they make such hard glue? Anyways, so that's the deal with these things. But basically what I'm telling you how to do is read the label. So it's called how to, the number 2, recycle.info. And it tells you what each one of the things mean for each thing. So, and it has like a map so you can look up where you live and you can find the place. So it'll say a regular one, widely recyclable. It'll say check locally, not recycled in all communities. It'll have a line through it where it says not yet recyclable. Or, like I said for that one, it'll say store drop off. So just because it has the recycling sign on it, basically means absolutely nothing. You have to actually like read it and see what it says. So like, again, if there's a line through it, not recyclable. Check locally, check locally. Store drop off does not mean that you can recycle it in from your house. It means you have to drop it off at a store, which, I mean, most stores, there is a plastic bags recycling, which is where you can take those. So, all right, that is the answer for these. I know, not a good one. If you're someone that ships things, then you could reuse them and cover the label. You know, there's that. All of these things, I basically buy these things in lieu of like a hard plastic. And I'm very excited about an answer that I have for this. I don't know if you guys will be excited about it, but all right, so I discovered something called an eco brick. And basically what it means is that you take a plastic bottle and you cut these up once you rinse it out and make sure there's no food in it, because apparently it will blow up. But then you cut it off, cut it out, you scrunch it up like this, and you stick it in this bottle. And they're doing this at the Discovery Center. Gray's Reef Discovery Center is who taught me this. You can make eco bricks, and it will get like really strong and dense after it weighs a certain amount of pounds. Like they weigh it, but you'll be able to feel because it like doesn't move around. And you could build something with these things. So personally, I really need a storage situation outside. So all of my hoarding is going to turn me into a house for my bike. Storage shed. Okay. So I just spilled food remnants all over me. I got to clean this up before I get some ants. But yeah, I'm gonna make myself some eco bricks. So like, let's go. All right. So other than that, I think you guys might have to throw these away because I can't figure out yet how to recycle them. However, like I said, I like this eco brick idea, and I'm gonna do it. All right, moving right along. These things also have good news and bad news. The good news is these are made out of recycled, 50% recycled content, which is great. Other good news is, less trees being killed for, cardboard. Also, the good news is these are also recyclable. However, it's the same issue where the label is not, and you have to take the label off. So I tried to take the label off. You cannot take this label off. So you can cut it out. I'm probably actually cut those off and recycle those. I'm going to hold on to the next round again, see if I can find a better way. But right now I have got to get rid of all this garbage. The last thing that I have to talk to you guys about is glass. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning of the show, glass is infinitely recyclable, which is fantastic. But Savannah right now, they're like overwhelmed with glass apparently, and they're no longer taking glass. However, your girl Brooke, she got a solution for you. Okay. So the answer is a place called ABC Waste. And don't forget, you can also take any kind of refillable glass, like a jar or whatever, to Lightfoot on Bull Street. My girl Katie, she's going to hook it up with a place for us to drop off the glass that we can reuse. Love you. Love Lightfoot. Make sure you go there for all your refillery and bulk needs. If you want to start your plastic-free journey, that's the place. It's really awesome. She's awesome. The store is awesome. She's making these second-class fannies. She's just awesome. So if you're in Savannah, go to Lightfoot on Bull Street. You probably have single stream glass is accepted at your wherever you have your recycling. But if you are in Savannah and you're very discouraged by the fact that you don't, ABC Waste is actually going to be a guest on our show coming up soon, and they will, for $28 a month, pick up your glass. They can also do if you're not right downtown in the city, they can do all three: your regular recycling, your glass, as well as your trash. Again, $28 a month, which is a fantastic deal. So give them a shout, ABC Waste, and they will be able to help you out with that. I'm super excited that they're doing that. They actually just started not too long ago. It's a new service, and they are accepting new clients. So if you have glass recycling needs, please hit them up. I'm super excited to have them on the show coming up here soon. And they are in talks with the city to try to get this service back with the city of Savannah. So I'm hopeful that that will happen. I will certainly be giving the powers that be a call to see if I can help that along. And these are the things that you cannot recycle. I'm adding this in because somehow I forgot to say that. Okay, so the things that you cannot typically recycle, which you have to check whoever, collects your recycling. You have to check their website to be sure. But typically, things like styrofoam, clothing, bedding, furniture, plastic chairs, toys, electronics, yard waste, paint cans, aluminum foil, plastic bags. Definitely not plastic bags, aerosol cans, which is something I kind of knew but didn't technically know. And pizza boxes are always the ones that like kind of depends in your city if they have like grease on them or whatnot. But just as like a thing to remember, a lot of this stuff, I mean, a lot of it, but some stuff you can compost, like yard waste or clippings. You can compost those pizza boxes, so you don't even really need to worry about it. But I would say the biggest things are anything with food on it is a no. Styrofoam for sure, and plastic bags. Those are like the biggest contaminants of recycling. So, like I said, if you can't separate it, it's any of those things, it's probably a no. And when in doubt, I would say just throw it out, because you have to remember that if you're contaminating the recycling, you're harming it, not helping it. It's not like, oh, I hope I can recycle this and they get away with it. Remember that the reason that we don't want to put stuff in the landfill that is able to like biodegrade on its own is because landfills are anaerobic, which means they don't have any oxygen, which means that like things that would typically break down, like say you had a pumpkin and you threw it in your yard, it would just like go away. Like the animals would eat it, it would disintegrate, the worms would come, like everything in nature would come back around to take care of what it is, the bugs, blah, blah, blah. But when you put it in a landfill, there's no oxygen, right? They crunch it down and it just kind of like stays there for essentially ever, right? And that's because it can't break down, because nature can't do its course. It can't be loose. Oxygen can't get to it. Bugs and nature and all these things can't do anything with it. And so that's really what we want to try to do when we're thinking about our garbage disposal and thinking about whether or not it's garbage, whether or not it's compostable. And I love, like, you can compost that. If you haven't listened to that episode, it was just a couple ago, but I had a great guest, Maria Vaughn of Core Compost, on, and she really kind of broke down, why we should be composting. But yeah, so those are the things that you cannot. All right, I have a joke for you. Why is just full moon. So, and I saw this joke right outside of the Grays Reef Discovery Center, which I have not been there. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic place. I can't wait. We're going to do a show there coming up too. If you need a place to take your kids, it's free and it's amazing. So many activities, like you could be in there for hours. I'm not kidding. I was in there for like an hour. And you can make the eco bricks there. So why did the moon raise and lower the tide over and over and over again? It had to be sure. Okay, I know. Corny corn. If you're looking at me on Instagram and you're like, damn, she has no wrinkles, you can use code SIMPLE to get yours for 10% off, and I'll get 10% off too, or I'll get 10% commission. Code Frownies is a great way to reduce your wrinkles, reduce the tension while you sleep, and that way you can avoid the tox, right? Do it. They are biodegradable, they are all natural, they are recyclable and compostable. Okay, and then also, if you're looking at my face and thinking how clear it is, let me tell you, the most sustainable thing I can ever do is have clear skin, because of all the products and plastic bottles that I was trying to use to prevent myself from getting acne. Clear Stem is a great one, and you can use code BrookeChase, that's BROOKECHASE, get yourself some clear skin. 20 years of hormonal acne gone from my face, no filter, hardly any makeup. It's fantastic. Clear Stem heals your acne from the inside out. All right, and then this is like one of my favorite parts of the show. Two more things, sorry. Your simple swap of the week is to ditch your plastic bag in your recycling container. Literally, stop using a plastic bag. You're just contaminating your hard-worked recycled. Take the plastic bag out, guys. You don't need it. It's good. It's fine. And your drink of the week is my new favorite wine. Y'all, I am obsessed. It's called Glass Wine. And the flavor that I love is rosé all day. Just want to give you guys a little information. So this is a fantastic wine. It is a beautiful reflection of Monterey County's pristine coastal terroir. This rosé opens with a fragrant wild strawberries and dried rose petals in the nose. Flavors of juicy cherry and ripe raspberry are balanced by refreshing acidity and a crisp, clean finish. The vibrant wine is a diverse menu partner, pairing exceptionally well with prosciutto, melon, or crab cakes and a spicy ale. Also, I want to tell you guys a little bit about Sea Glass Wine Company because I am the amazing recipient of a contest. They are a wine company that I found when I was in Hawaii. Basically, I still had some wine left from the last night I was there. Snap a picture, that's me, tag them, and I didn't know anything about them. Turns out they are a sustainable wine company, and they are involved with coastal preservation through a company called Surf Rider Foundation, caring for the land and sea. From sustainable farming to conscientious water use to recycling, they are an environmental steward in the vineyard and the winery. We are proud to support like-minded organizations who share a commitment to preserving beloved coastline, protecting marine wildlife, and nurturing the earth for generations to come. And there is just something so special about liking something. Loved the wine. It was a great wine, which is why I was so excited to post about it. And then I looked at their Instagram and I saw that they were into coastal preservation, which I was so stoked about. And I had actually learned to surf while I was in Hawaii, and I saw that they were having a contest. So I entered sweepstakes and I won. I won a surfboard, you guys. So I'm obsessed with this brand now, and I'm getting a tote bag, a Yeti, a chapstick, and some wax for my custom made surfboard. I'm so excited. It's only 6 feet, so I don't know how I'll ever ride it, but it's gonna look badass on my wall. Okay, and so that's it for today, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you have any recycling questions, please hit me up. I'm super happy to help you and figure it out. I know how frustrating it is when you want to do the right thing and you're just not really sure how, but you can always go to recycleright.com. But basically, cardboard, cans, aluminum, paper, junk mail, usually glass. So hopefully in the beginning when I talked about that plastic, that will really alleviate some of the question marks for you. You have to look at the number and you have to know if your city takes that number. And then it's pretty easy. I'm kind of annoyed at myself that I just never looked it up before. Why didn't I just look it up? I care so much. You think I would just do that? So that's why I really want to do this episode for you guys. So I looked it up, I shared the info, and now we can all recycle happily. All right. I love y'all. Thank you so much for listening and enjoy your recycling.